Are you a talented footballer with the potential to go all of the way, but you've never been spotted or had a trial? Well, all you need to do is check out a brand new innovative business that I've started with my partners called Scout's Eyes. It gives you a chance to get spotted by our network of scouts to try and get you a trial at a professional club. Scout's Eyes places you in front of a professional scout who will assess your talent. You simply need to visit our website right now and upload your clips as directed. Our scouts will then view them and give you a full assessment. If you meet a certain criteria, your details will be sent to scouts at professional football clubs for them to come and see you play. It's as simple as that. So visit scoutseyes.com right now and send in your clips, and a scout could be coming to watch you play at your next game. AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that will be linked with a transfer move to Arsenal. Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal, brought to you today by Scout's Eyes. Don't forget, if you are an aspiring footballer out there, you're based in the UK, and you want to get involved, you can get onto their website now and get yourself a 50% discount if you use the code SE50. SE50, you can get yourself a 50% discount. Upload your content of you playing, and you could be scouted by a professional scout, right? Who will be able to tell you if you are good enough for an academy, etc. So make sure you jump onto that right now if you're an aspiring footballer out there. Just got to say before we get started as well, congratulations going out to Declan Rice. Declan Rice, the only footballer in the UK, or in England, should I say, who was selected in the Champions League team of the season. So well done to him. Just goes to show you what a quality player he is to get into that. Hopefully, Arsenal can have some players that are going to be in that team of the year next season. Hopefully dominating it, because if we dominated it, that means we might have won it. But who are those signings going to be? Viktor Gyökeres is still a player on everybody's lips. And by the way, we're going to run that poll again that we was talking about yesterday. It was between the two of them. Gyökeres or Sesko. If you want Gyökeres, in the comment section, I want you to put buy Gyökeres. If you want Sesko, I want you to put buy Sesko. And then we're going to have a look at the results on tomorrow's show. But Viktor Gyökeres, again, being very heavily linked with a move to Arsenal. Now, according to a Sky Sports journalist called Sasha Tavarelli, he's saying that Viktor Gyökeres has already given his verbal agreement to join Arsenal. He's given his verbal agreement with Arsenal Football Club that he wants to join, right? And it's now for Arsenal to get the deal done with Sporting CP. Now, this is what's being reported by this Sky journalist. Is it going to be Gyökeres or is it going to be Sesko? Because it looks like Arsenal are doing that sort of move where they're talking to both players. They're talking to Gyökeres, and we heard on yesterday's show about the secret meetings they've been having with the representatives of Sesko, and they're having concrete talks with RB Leipzig. There's also been a report that came out that today that Sporting rejected a £59 million bid from Arsenal for Viktor Gyökeres. So it doesn't look like it's clear cut that it's going to be Sesko. It still could be Viktor Gyökeres. My preference, and I'll just give you my own personal preference at this moment in time, is Viktor Gyökeres, just because of that incredible goal-scoring record that he has. I know it's in the Portuguese league and not, Bundesliga is definitely a harder league to score goals in. But I just think that goal-scoring record can't be ignored. So that would be my preference. If it's Sesko, it's Sesko. I just want to make sure we get a striker. But Gyökeres would be my preference. But Sky journalist reporting there that he's given his verbal agreement to join Arsenal. Let's see if it happens. What about this forward player? Another centre-forward linked with Arsenal today, and that is João Pedro of Brighton, formerly of Watford, of course. has been having a decent season for Brighton. Not prolific, but had a good season. Didn't always start all the games as a striker. It was a lot of times Danny Welbeck who was given that role. But João Pedro is a very, very talented player, Brazilian. There's several clubs that have been very, very interested in him, including Arsenal. Now, Brighton have reportedly put a price tag on his head. They want £70 million to sign João Pedro. That is a lot of money. When you consider, I think last season they paid just under 40 million for him. 70 million. For me, not prolific enough for me for Arsenal. He reminds me a lot of a Gabriel Jesus, a very, very good technical player, but not necessarily the most clinical player out there. But £70 million is how much they want for him. Arsenal are a team that have shown interest in him in the past and may be interested in him now. But 70 million? No. Another player that's interested in Arsenal is Bryan Mbuemo of Brentford. I was speaking to Marcus Gale, the Brentford legend. I was actually at Brentford on Saturday where they was doing the Unity Cup. And he was just speaking so highly of Bryan Mbuemo, talking about how, he's such a good player, so underrated. 20 league goals this season. That's an absolutely brilliant return for a player that sort of plays right winger, second striker. He's strong, he's quick, direct, and a very, very effective player in the Premier League. Now, Fabrizio Romano has reported that there's several clubs interested in him. Arsenal are one that are monitoring his situation with a lot of interest. The other clubs that are interested in him are Newcastle and Manchester United. Those two clubs said to be very, very interested in him. But Arsenal monitoring his situation. Remember, his contract expires at the end of next season. So Brentford got a very big decision to make. They value him at around £50 million. There'll be a lot of teams not wanting to pay that because he's only got a year left on his deal. But it looks like Bryan Mbuemo is going to be on the move this summer. But where will he go? Arsenal monitoring his situation. The only thing I'd say about it is that he's predominantly a right winger, can play as a second striker. I think if he was a left winger, it'd be a no-brainer. But right winger, obviously you've got Saka, he's going to start. Then you've got Ethan Nwaneri, who's really deputised really well and is only going to get better. Surely if you brought in a Bryan Mbuemo and it was right wing, he's going to block the pathway of, say, a Nwaneri, unless he is effective on that left-hand side. And talking to Marcus Gale, he was saying, well, he hasn't really seen him much on that left. It's just always on the right-hand side. So let's see. I'm not sure about that one, but it's a rumour that has been out there even since before the window opened, and it is still out there. Now, what about this rumour? Thomas Partey being linked with a move to Barcelona. I spoke on the show yesterday about how Arsenal are looking to tie him down to a brand new deal. He's, of course, out of contract now, but Arsenal want to give him, an extension to that deal, so a 1 year with an option of a further year. But Hansi Flick, the manager of Barcelona, is also a big admirer. And there are reports out today that Barcelona are in talks or have opened talks with his representatives about a move to Barcelona. Would be a cheap alternative for them to bring in a very experienced defensive midfielder to come into that midfield. And of course, he's played in Spain before. I mean, there's been links also with Atletico Madrid. There were another club said to be showing a lot of interest in him. Of course, as I said, available on a free contract now. Wouldn't cost, whoever he goes, wouldn't cost them anything. But will Arsenal be able to keep hold of him? I think Arsenal, they've laid it out there. They want to keep him. But Barcelona will be very tempting as well. So one to keep an eye on that one. Thomas Partey being linked with a move to Barcelona, as is Gabriel Martinelli. According to the Spanish outlet Dario Sport, they claim that Barcelona are interested in signing Martinelli. What they claim is that he's on their shortlist of players that they're looking to sign in that left-wing position. That shortlist includes Luis Diaz of Liverpool, Marcus Rashford, also of Manchester United, and Kingsley Coman. All three of those players are players that Barcelona are interested in, as well as Gabriel Martinelli. I think it would take a big fee for Martinelli to leave. Will Barcelona, remember, they still got a lot of financial problems despite them winning the league, despite them being back in the Champions League. They've got a lot of debt still. Would they outlay that big amount of money which Arsenal would demand for a player like Gabriel Martinelli? Remember now, Brazilian international as well, quite established. You know, I mean, he's not, you know, well, when I say established, always seems to be in the squad. So, but Dario, that paper claiming that Barcelona are showing an interest. And also interested in a young player who plies his trade at Blackburn Rovers. His name is Igor Tyjon. Centre forward, plays for Blackburn. Young player, more seen as a talent, is as a centre forward, but can also play on both wings as well, right wing and left wing. He previously played for Poland in under-16s, but he's last season played for England in the under-17s. Only a couple of first-team appearances for Blackburn in the Championship, but is a prospect, and Arsenal are very, very interested, according to reports, in signing him. Of course, it is about, especially nowadays for a lot of Premier League clubs, it is about spotting young talent, bringing them in for, you know, quite low fees, and either transitioning them into the first team or being able to sell them on. That is the ruthlessness of it. Look at Chelsea. So he is interested in Arsenal, one to keep an eye on this summer transfer rumours. So those are the transfer rumours for today. Of course, we are here every single day of the summer with Transfer Daily. You can check us out also on all platforms. And once again, we're voting on it today. Who do you want? Gyökeres or Sesko? If you want Gyökeres, put buy Gyökeres. If you want Sesko, put buy Sesko in the comments. And we will run that poll and tell you who you guys out there would prefer for Arsenal to sign. The one thing I know is we need a striker. Thanks for watching the show today, and we'll be back tomorrow.